The museum was louder than usual that afternoon. A group of high school students had just spilled into the military history wing, their laughter echoing off the polished floors. They moved quickly, barely glancing at the glass cases, more interested in snapping photos of each other than reading about wars fought long before they were born. That's when they noticed him. He stood near the entrance, slightly hunched, wearing a faded brown coat that looked older than most of the displays. His hair was thin and white, his shoes scuffed. He held a simple walking cane, not for show, but for necessity. He paused before every exhibit, reading each line slowly, as if the words themselves had weight. One of the boys nudged another and whispered, "Bro, looks like he got lost on the way to the retirement home." A few of them laughed. Another girl rolled her eyes. "Why do old people even come here alone?" "It's kinda sad." The old man didn't seem to hear them at all. His attention was completely fixed on a black and white photograph of young soldiers standing knee-deep in mud, their faces sharp with fear and resolve. His eyes softened, then darkened, as memories flickered behind them. The students drifted closer, their boredom mixing with a bit of curiosity. "Hey sir," one boy called out, mock politeness dripping from his voice. "You need help finding the exit?" More snickers followed. The old man turned slowly. His face was deeply lined, not just with age, but with something heavier experience. He offered a faint smile. "No," he said quietly. "I know exactly where I am." That only made them laugh harder. "Guess he's here to relive the good old days," someone muttered under their breath. A nearby museum guide frowned but said nothing. She watched the old man with a look of recognition, a hint of nervousness on her face that the students didn't catch. The old visitor moved deeper into the hall, stopping before a new exhibit roped off from the public. A small crowd had gathered nearby. A large banner read, "Valor Beyond Duty, Medals of Honor and the Stories Behind Them." At the very center was a single glass case, lit brighter than the rest. Inside lay a collection of medals, pristine and heavy with meaning. At the top, unmistakable, was the Medal of Honor. The students leaned in. "Wow," one whispered. "That's actually cool." Another squinted at the description plaque. "It says the exhibit is centered around one soldier." The old man stepped closer too, resting his hand lightly on the railing. His fingers trembled not from weakness but from emotion. One of the boys noticed him and smirked. "Careful, old man. Don't want to touch the glass. That stuff's probably worth more than your coat." The museum guide stepped forward sharply. "That's enough." Her voice carried a sudden authority. The students quieted down, surprised. She turned toward the old man, and her entire posture changed. Respect replaced formality. "Sir," she said gently, "we're honored you could make it today." The room fell silent. The old man simply nodded. "Thank you for keeping it all so well." One of the students blinked, confused. "Wait, you know him?" The guide took a breath, then spoke clearly so everyone could hear. "This exhibit," she said, gesturing to the medals, "exists because of him." Confusion rippled through the group. The guide continued. "This is Colonel Samuel Harris, retired, recipient of the Medal of Honor." The words landed like a shockwave. The students just stared, their mouths slightly open. "That medal," the guide said, pointing to the display, "is his. Every citation, every photograph, every account here, it's his story." One girl whispered, "No way." Colonel Harris didn't look at the students. He just looked at the medal. "They wanted me to keep it at home," he said softly. "But medals don't mean much sitting in drawers. Stories do. And stories belong to everyone." One brave student stepped forward. "Sir, what did you do to earn it?" The old man was quiet for a long moment. "I didn't earn it alone," he finally said. "I was just the one who came back." The guide nodded. During an ambush overseas, Colonel Harris held a position for nearly 6 hours under enemy fire so his unit could evacuate. He carried wounded soldiers one by one. He refused extraction until the last man was safe. Absolute silence filled the hall. The boy who'd made the first joke swallowed hard. I'm sorry," he said, his voice low. "We didn't know." Colonel Harris turned to them then. His gaze wasn't angry. It was calm, understanding. "Most people don't," he said. "That's all right. Just remember respect costs nothing." The students nodded, shame replacing their arrogance. As Colonel Harris slowly walked away, the students stood straighter. This time they read every plaque. They whispered less, they listened more. And long after the old visitor left the museum, his story stayed heavy, humbling, and unforgettable. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that matters. See you next time.